Today, I am going to explain the science fiction action film called Equilibrium. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. Equilibrium takes place in a dystopian future where showing any hint of emotion is illegal and punishable by death. Furthermore, anything that may stimulate emotion is illegal as well. This includes, but isn't limited to music, books, art and film. Our story truly begins with a tight shot on John, the highest-ranking cleric who specializes in gun kata martial arts. It's clerics like John and his partner Errol who find and dispose of those rebellious few who still express themselves emotionally, and the emotional artifacts these rebels attempt to keep hidden. John and Errol are with a team of clerics about to ambush suspected resistance fighters. John seems more than ready, while Errol seems a little conflicted. John charges forward, and it is in this moment we see our first darkened glimpse of gun kata. John watches as guards lift floorboard up and remove the authentic Mona Lisa painting. Without hesitation, John instructs them to burn it. Errol walks in and has a hard time masking his disappointment. Regarding a classic novel Errol took with him from the heinous crime scene, a suspicious John asks why he didn't leave it for the evidence team to take. Errol explains they often forget and leave things behind, and that he would get it done properly. John does not fully buy this. A leader who goes by the name of Father heads a public meeting where he praises prosium, a drug you inject into your neck that stifles human emotion. John is formally introduced to Vice Consul DuPont. DuPont praises the fact that John has an immensely impressive record when it comes to recognizing humans who are feeling things. DuPont asks if John is a family man, and John points out he has both a son and daughter. When asked about his wife, John informs DuPont that she was sentenced to death for expressing emotion. DuPont asks John how that made him feel, and John says he felt nothing. DuPont wonders out loud how John wasn't able to notice his wife's crime. John says he has asked himself that same question. DuPont calls this a nearly unforgivable oversight, but trusts John will be more diligent moving forward. John plays back his conversation with Errol in the car. He goes to where the evidence is stored and asks about the book. It turns out Errol never turned it in. A guard informs John of Errol's location. When John finds Errol, he is reading from the book. He pays John entering the room. Zero reaction. John watches for a moment while Errol reads out loud from the book. Errol reaches for his gun knowing John will then reach for his. He then holds the book over his face and once again grabs his weapon so that John will fire a shot off and kill him. Brant, the man who drove John, explains that he is just like him. Intuitive. John walks inside to find his son concentrated on video of father speaking. In bed, John is haunted by the flashback of his beautiful wife the moment clerics enter their home to take her away. She lunges into John and kisses him, then demands he remember her. John turns to face the hallway and locks eyes with his children. Undeniably feeling things, John takes out his prosium and washes his face. He accidentally bumps the capsule, shattering it. His son witnesses this and demands he replace it. His daughter, Lisa, plays with her cereal and Robbie demands that she stops. Lisa tries not to smile. During a raid, the clerics uncover a room full of emotional triggers. The culprit snatches a gun and tries to shoot John, but is stopped. Right as Brant goes to kill her, John prevents him from doing so and tells him they need her. Like Errol, moments before he was killed, the woman they had just raided sits across from John in an interrogation room and brings up facts related to emotion that make John second-guess things. During a gun kata training session, DuPont offers more insight on how the martial art form works. Late at night, John stares at his prosium, but decides not to take it. He has a nightmare in which he witnesses the incineration of a resistance fighter and wakes up in a panic. Being off of prosium, John can't help but see the beauty in things, and that overwhelms him. John hurries to the bathroom to take his prosium, but once again pauses and opts not to. He begins to feel urges that have previously been suppressed. Like rearranging his desk space. Brant sees this and grows suspicious. He tells John they have new targets to raid. While there, John hears music play and cannot help but get completely emotional. He then watches the room burn with the same look Errol gave watching the painting go up in flames. Brant notices that like Errol, John has taken a book from the room. And just like Errol, John offers the same excuse. Both men are called to check something out back, so John hands Brant his weapon with a smile. They find a large group of dogs and Brant orders them to be exterminated. As John watches, he does everything he can to hide the horror he feels. A puppy slips past the line of fire and arrives in front of John. He picks the puppy up and stares into its eyes. It licks his face. John hands the puppy over to a guard, but immediately takes it back and explains he is going to have it tested. Brant continues to question John internally. That night, John attempts to take the puppy back to where it was first found. As it wags its tail and waits outside of John's car, John can't help but decide to keep it. He places it in the trunk, with his jacket to keep it warm. A swarm of guards surround him, demanding identification. He says it's in his coat, but when he realizes the coat is keeping the dog warm, he has to inform them he is without it. They begin to search his car, and right as they are about to pop his trunk, the guard realizes who John is and apologizes. Right before they are about to leave, the puppy makes a noise and the guards immediately plan to take John in. As the captain goes to open the trunk, John is left with no choice. In a stunning display of gun kata, John showcases why he truly is the best at what he does by completely wiping out every last one of them. At home, John removes the bathroom mirror from the wall and uses the opening behind it to stash the prosium he refuses to take. During another raid, John points out an exit to the resistance and demands they run. They don't move, however, unable to trust John won't shoot them in the back as they make their exit. Frustrated, John has them follow him while a guard watches, surprised. When they make it outside, John brutalizes every guard in their way as the resistance, also known as sense offenders, make a run for it. Despite their best effort, no one man or army seems capable of taking John down. John enters the room where Brandt is located only to find every last sense offender he tried to save. Brandt congratulates John on successfully luring them into their supposed trap, and offers him the honors of executing them. When he refuses, Brandt watches him walk away while every last one of them is executed by the guards. John sits beside the dead body of his former partner Errol and expresses how sorry he is. While looking through the things that will be burnt along with his body, John makes a startling discovery. Errol was the woman John interrogated's lover. She does her best to play coy, but when John lets her know that he was the one who killed Errol, she lunges at him. John presses her down against the metal tabletop, and it's in this moment she realizes he stopped taking his prosium. John reaches where he assumes the sense offenders congregate and interrogates a man in an attempt to get more information about Errol. He notices something peculiar about the bookshelf and cuts through to their meeting location. It's there he meets the leader of the sense offenders, Jürgen. John is introduced to the underground, and takes a polygraph test at Jürgen's request. Rather than ask a question, Jürgen simply says Mary's name. He lets John know that he's aware of the red ribbon he carries with him that has his wife's scent. Jürgen tells him he knows John breathes it in sometimes when he assumes that no one can see. When John asks Jürgen what he can do to help, Jürgen tells John that he can kill father. John once again finds himself cornered by guards. They take him to DuPont's office where DuPont shares with John that he has heard a very unfortunate rumor. Not only is a high cleric supposedly not taking his prosium, but they are also trying to reach the resistance. John's fears wash away when DuPont asks John what it is John plans on doing to find this traitor. He assures DuPont he will get it done. On the day of Mary's incineration, John arrives right as she is about to be set on fire and demands to speak with her, but is told he is too late. All he can do is watch as she dies in the most painful manner imaginable. He wades through a crowd of people like a zombie, heartbroken and sick to his stomach. And then, in front of everybody, John collapses to the ground and cries. Brandt stands before him with a smile on his face and lets John know that he is now under arrest. He brags like a child to the other clerics and then takes John to DuPont. In DuPont's office, Brandt asks DuPont to run the trace record on John's gun to show it was John with the sweeper team the night they were murdered. In a shocking turn of events, it is revealed that John switched guns with Brandt and set him up to look like the traitor. As per protocol, however, John's home must still be searched. While the search is already underway, John hurries to the bathroom to remove the prosium before that area gets searched. John is terrified to find the capsules are missing. He turns around to find them in his son's hand. It's in this touching moment John learns both of his children stopped taking their prosium the moment their mother was taken away. The plan is underway. John makes the call to inform his superiors he has located the resistance. He is given a new uniform and invited to meet father face to face. Everything is going smoothly until John learns there will be a test administered before he meets father. He's hooked to a polygraph machine much like the one administered underground. Before the test truly starts, the guards draw their weapons on John and Brandt re-emerges, showing this whole thing was a trap. On a monitor, father explains to John he was chosen by them to be the one who infiltrated the underground. They realized in order to accomplish this, the cleric who gets the job done would have to think and feel like them. According to father, John has been a pawn this entire time. It is then revealed that DuPont has been father this entire time. As emotions explode inside of John, it's as though he transcends to a new level. He draws new weapons from his coat sleeve and massacres everybody in the room. He tells DuPont that he's coming and puts a bullet through the monitor. In one of the coolest sequences ever, John slides 2 clips down a hallway littered with guards and begins picking off each one when he seamlessly slides into place and connects the clips to his weapons. He arrives at DuPont's office where we're finally about to get the epic fight Brandt's actions have been hyping up this entire film between himself and John. But John literally finishes Brandt off in seconds. With a gun pointed at DuPont, DuPont gives it all he's got to convince John not to kill him. All he's got is definitely not good enough. As our prodigal hero makes his exit in epic fashion, the resistance strikes and new order begins rising up.